Alright guys, here we go. This video is going to teach you how to write a quadratic function in vertex form when you're given certain information, and it's also going to teach you how to write a quadratic in intercept form when you are given certain information. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to step you through one of them, and then you're going to try two. And then we'll go to the intercept form next. So the first thing you have to do is remember is what is the equation, the generic equation for vertex form. And it's y is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. And you have to remember from the first video in this chapter that a is going to tell you if it opens up or down, and if it's narrow, if it's normal, or if it's wide. And then you have the h comma k, which is your vertex. And then the y and the x, that's just going to represent any point on that parabola. So, in order to do this, the first thing you do is you take your vertex and you substitute that into the correct places in the graph. So we have y is equal to a times x minus, and we know our h is 6. And then we continue until we get to k, which we have is 5. So the first step is just to insert the coordinates of your vertex into the equation appropriately. But then the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use the given point. So the point is 3 comma negative 13, which means our y is negative 13. And that equals a, and then we know our x is 3. And then we have our minus, we still have our 6 for our vertex, squared plus, and we still have our 5. Okay? And now that we're here, you'll notice that the only thing left is our a. So we can just start solving for a now. So all you're going to do here is we have our negative 13 is equal to a times a negative 3 squared plus 5. Solve for a. Negative 3 squared is 9. So we have a negative 13 is equal to, we'll call it 9a plus 5. Subtract 5 from both sides. That's going to give us a negative 18 is equal to 9a. So we know a is equal to a negative 2. So all of that work was to find that a was equal to negative 2. Now you must write the equation. This is not just solve for a. So the final answer to this question is y is equal to negative 2 times x minus 6 squared plus 5. And you're done. That's your vertex. We found our a. We leave y and x alone. Okay, you just leave it because you want this to be an equation of a parabola. Okay, so that's how you do it when you are given a vertex and a point when you are trying to write the equation in vertex form. So you have two examples to try, number 1 and number 2. Pause the video, try them both. So, did you complete these correctly? The first thing, what you needed to do for number 1 is you substitute in your y, which is 10, your x is 5, your h for your vertex is a negative 1, but remember that's minus a negative, so that's going to change into a plus. And then we have our negative 2 for the y part of our vertex. Then you just start solving. You get 6 squared is 36, a minus 2, add the 2, divide by 36, you got a is 1/3. Just make sure you write the equation when you are done, and don't just stop at a equals 1/3. In number 2, substitute all your information, work it out, you get a equals 1. You do not need to write the 1. You can if you want to, but it is not necessary. Okay? And that's that. So what we are going to do is now move into intercept form. Again, the important thing about intercept form is to make sure that you know the generic equation that represents intercept form. So that is going to be y is equal to a times x minus p times x minus q, where p and q represent the intercepts of this quadratic function. So it's very similar to what we did in the last one, where you just start substituting in your values. Okay, so we have, this time, we know our y is a negative 42. and we are going to look for our a still. And for this guy, we know our x is 6. So we're going to put 6 in each one of these. And then we're going to have our minus and our minus. Then p is a -1. So we're going to substitute in our -1 for p. And we know our q is 5. So we're going to substitute our 5 in for q. And then, again, all you have to do is simplify. So this is a -42 is equal to a. 6 minus a -1 is 7. 6 minus 5 is 1. So we have a -42 is equal to 7a. So a is equal to a -6. Just don't forget to write the equation. So your final answer is y is equal to a -6 times x plus 1 times x minus 5, because your final answer needs to have the intercepts in there. And remember, it's minus the intercepts, so the minus the -1 turns into +1, and then obviously we have our -5, and you have our a. So that's it. That's how you do it when you are looking to write one in intercept form. So you, again, get to pause the video and try the next two on your own and see if you get the exact same answers that I will. So go ahead and give them a try. Again, let's see if you're right. So the first one, you had to substitute your -20 in for your y. Your 5 goes in for your x's, and your p and q is 3 and 7. And just work it out. You should have got a equals 5. Final answer, y is equal to 5 times x minus 3 and x minus 7. For number 2, same thing. You just work everything out. You get a is -2/5. Now, if you have x minus 0 in parentheses here, you're not wrong, but there's no need for it. I mean, you don't need to write down plus 0 anytime there's nothing to add, or minus 0. So you can just leave it as x. If you've got parentheses around the x, that's fine as well. Just wanted to let you know, if you ever see -2/5 x times x plus 6, that is intercept form. Just one of your intercepts is going to be 0. All right? Now this note sheet does continue for you, but it's actually a review of the first 2 days with graphing quadratics. So we're not going to take the time to go over these, but if you would like to try them on your own, you can look at the completed note sheet online to check to see if your answers are correct. So this is Longo. I'm out. Hope you're having a great day.